Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Hunt for Love Season 1 Episode 1, The Girl Who Showed Her Butt. Yeah, she sure did, alright. So we're just gonna go on into this. So basically, as we all know, this is a new 90 Day spinoff. It's kind of feels like I said, The Bachelor, Love Island type thing. And these rejected 90 Dayers are looking to find love, like on a resorted island with some other random singles, basically. And I've already did a meet the cast, so but I'll just review the 90 Day cast. We have Tim and Jennifer, Courtney, Usman, Colt, Chantel, Tiffany, and Rob. And that's your 90 Day cast, and then you got all the other ones that we'll get to eventually throughout the season. So here in this first episode, the cast basically arrives to the resort, basically, and they're met by like one of their like event coordinators and dating coaches and everything. We first see Chantel come in, and Chantel's coming in looking for love and everything. We all know what happened with her situation with Pedro and everything. Then comes in Tiffany. And Tiffany comes in, she talks about her story with Ronald and everything. I think Tiffany is divorced from Ronald and everything. And Tiffany and Chantel actually meet up and everything, and they hitting it off and stuff. And then, then Courtney comes in, and then Rob, and then Tim, they all just gradually come in. They get when Rob came in, he thought the event coordinator was pretty good looking, and she was, and he thought he was going to shoot a shot with her, but just to find out she's just the event coordinator and stuff. So, but they all get a message in their rooms that's saying that there's going to be a masquerade ball this evening, and wear a mask to hide your identity, basically. So all the 90 dayers and stuff and everything, and all the singles that are there are basically are wearing masks to hide their identity, because the other singles don't recognize the 90 dayers and stuff. But everybody's mingling with their mask, going at the masquerade ball and stuff and everything, and then more people are piling in and stuff. Tim comes in, and Colt and everything and stuff and everything. And then everybody, Tiffany's mingling with some people and everything. And then Courtney and Usman, Courtney already had recognized Usman even with the mask on. And Usman claimed that he was acting like he didn't recognize Courtney, but he did. Apparently, and I did not know this until I saw these little previews, Courtney and Usman have apparently hooked up in Turkey, in Istanbul, and spent a week together and everything. Now, they said they were not intimate, but they have they got together and stuff and everything. And I guess that trip was just literally a couple of weeks before they went to Tulum, Mexico to film this, basically. So there was that. And then eventually there comes this beautiful girl in a red dress, just had that spunky walk to her, and basically. And that person just happened to be Jennifer. Now, for a while, everyone thought that Jennifer was the hottest girl in 90 Day Fiancé history. She's up there and everything. But she came in with that red dress, and just everybody was just like, whoa, okay. So, the dating coaches get the whole crew together, and they all, they put the guys on one side and the girls on the other, and they told them all to take off their mask. When they all took off their masks, everybody's just like, oh, hey, yeah. When Tim saw Jennifer, he was just like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. He did not, he said that, going to this retreat, I knew there would be other 90 Day people here, but never did I predict for a moment that Jennifer would be there and stuff. Jennifer sees them, and she was like, it looked like somebody punched them, basically, and everything. So after they all take off their masks and everything, they all start mingling, and Courtney and Usman talk about their little trip to Turkey, and then how like Courtney got upset because Usman didn't recognize her and acted like he didn't recognize her. He's like, "How could I not forget you? I was just pretending and everything." Now I'm going to talk about Usman a little bit later, but because I don't know, he is up and down with me. Like I don't know, I cannot get a read on that guy and stuff. But so basically with everybody else, Rob basically was the ladies' man of the night. Rob, like a lot of people love Rob and everything, and there was this girl, one of the singles. Her name was Elise, and she was really had a thing for Rob. Like they started mingling and talking and everything. Rob and Elise just basically like they laid down and just had a talk, and then like Elise, like she moves really fast, and she had mentioned that she nah, I'm not gonna mention it. She said something kind of inappropriate what she likes and everything that I'm not gonna repeat on this channel. I think y'all know what it is and stuff and everything. But prior to that, like she was just like blushing over Rob basically, and like she was talking about her butt, and she kept on saying that she has a big butt for a white girl basically and everything, and she wanted Rob to kiss her. And now Rob was like, "Let me now." She's like, "You should give me a kiss. Like, are you gonna kiss me?" Rob was just like, "Oh, hold up, hold up, hold up," basically. I ain't trying to show too much on the first night now and everything. But he was like, "I do want to see your butt though." And she's like, "Oh no, you want to see my butt? You don't want to kiss me? F that and everything." And everything. So he was just like, "Well, what do you want first?" And she asked him, like, the kiss. So they had like a big makeout session basically. And then after their little makeout session, Elise lifts up her dress and shows Rob her big butt. Basically, I've seen bigger. Not to sound disgusting, but I've seen bigger. just saying. But anyway, so there was that, and so everybody's just like mingling, and then like Tim and Jennifer, this was like a big thing. Like Tim goes up to Jennifer to say, "Hey, I don't want no animosity." Like last time we saw each other, because the last time Tim and Jennifer talked, it was at the Single Life Tell-All when Jennifer was dating Jesse, and they had some really bad choice words and stuff and everything. Now, y'all already know how I feel about Tim. I think he's bland. I think he's just like thinks he's knows it all and don't know nothing type person, everything. Now like I said, I don't think Tim is gay. But here's the thing. Jennifer, now I'm not a fan of Jennifer either and how she's doing him. Like I'm not a fan of either or, but Jennifer, I think, I don't know, is just coming off really like wrong and just out for revenge basically. They broke up because but they broke up because like Tim wouldn't pay for a visa. Now Tim claims that he did a lot for Jennifer, which I think he did. He gave her money, a lot of money and everything, helped Jennifer's daughter and stuff and everything. But how did he pull her off and how did she pull him off in the time of chatting? I don't know. So Jennifer just says that she has secrets on Tim, and we'll get to in a minute. So meanwhile, everybody's mingling. Tiffany is just gonna be acting like she's gonna be the center of attention basically during this trip. Her and Chantel basically, she's talking to some guys, and judging by previews, I think she's talking to this guy named Cole or Caro or whatever, and some other guys and stuff. I don't know much of the other singles names because we didn't talk. We didn't. The only one I just fully remember is just Elise, just for the obvious things, because this first episode was mostly just centered by the 90 Dayers and stuff. So after the first night was over, Tiffany calls in Usman, Chantel, and and Colt, into their room and stuff. Now, Usman and Chantel had like some kind of beef going on because like Usman, when Courtney and Usman were in Istanbul, um, I guess like Chantel was messaging Courtney and like be careful with Usman, like he's bad news. I read a lot of negativity about him on social media and stuff. And then when Usman and Chantel met in person, like Chantel was just like, oh, I don't know who you are and everything. Like I don't know you in person, basically. And Usman's like, you do know me. How you gonna say you don't know me? You do know me and everything. And they just had like a beef and everything, and just thinking that Chantel just thinks that Usman's a scammer and stuff and everything. And, we're going to talk a little bit more about Usman here in a few. So they talked all about that. And then they talked about like the Tim and Jennifer situation in the bedroom and stuff and all that. Then later, Jennifer, Usman, and Rob had breakfast together. And Jennifer starts revealing the secrets about Tim. Now, now as we know with Rob, he is friends with okay, so like with Usman and Tim, like Rob is friends with Jamal, who has issues with both guys. Jamal who is Kim's son, like Kim dated Usman, so there's awkward tension there and everything. And Jamal dated Tim's ex Veronica, and there was beef from the single life and everything. So but Rob said that he's not going to be like, since he doesn't really know Tim, he's not going to be, he knows all about it, but not going to be like stay away from me type person. So they all got the story. So Jennifer revealed that Tim basically is a freak. When they were dating, and when he went to Colombia on their season, I think it was season 3 Before the 90 Days, I guess they went to a strip club, and I guess like Tim decided to take her to a male strip club basically, and I guess he paid a dude to give Jennifer a lap dance or something, whatever. And I guess like he said that he's into the swinging type things and stuff or whatever. Now, okay, whatever. I mean, do I think that's weird? Yes. But I do think some things are being a little bit exaggerated. Now, Jennifer is just trying to make it out to see that Tim is just gay and stuff and everything. He's made it clear that he's not. So let's just really moving on. I'm tired of the hearing that Tim could be gay and stuff. He does have a unique sense of fashion, what he wears. But I dress when I go to church, I kind of dress somewhat similar to Tim when I go to church. Basically, I don't wear the high boots, but I do dress a little bit flashier now when I go to church, at least not outside of church, but so I will admit that Tim has a unique fashion now, but it's who he is. That's just Tim, and that's how it is with me. I'm just me. It doesn't make me gay or anything. I'm not gay. I'm 100% straight, and I'm sure Tim is. So I don't know why Jennifer is just trying to make it out to be like that and everything. And she's got some tricks up her sleeve too and everything. So Usman had asked them, have y'all been intimate? And Jennifer said that's like part of the reason why they broke up, basically. Tim had revealed that, Tim, I caught Tim in a lie. Because they also are now doing Between the Sheets again, like they did for The Last Resort. They brought back Between the Sheets. On Between the Sheets, Tim said that he and Jennifer tried to be intimate, and like he was just about to go in, and then like she stopped him because he didn't have a condom. However, when he was on the tell-all, the Single Life tell-all, when he had mentioned that he had said that he stopped himself because he didn't have a condom. So which is it? So I caught him in a lie, basically. So he went back on his story. So I don't know realistically who to believe. But, it was just, everything was just centered around that. So after that, the 90 Days and the Singles, they go they go out and they go to like this little speed dating thing, and it's going to be in a hot tub. So certain people are going to be in a hot tub and speed dating, and some people are going to be down by the beach just mingling and stuff. Jennifer said that she did not want to be with Tim, but she was in the same group as Tim. So they do some speed dating. Chantel like talks to a guy and everything. She talks about her preferences and everything, and all that. And then Rob talked to this other girl. I forget something. Like I said, I forget all of the other singles' names. I'll have more info about them next week, and stuff. But like I said, I only knew of Elise. So now let's like circling back to Usman and Courtney. Now Usman, like he's like in all of this. Like he says all these girls here are really beautiful and stuff, but Courtney has his eyes, and Courtney is just not looking at any other guys but Usman, basically. Now, on Between the Sheets, like Usman has said, like at this point now, like who's gonna give me a child if I'm dating a girl who's over 50? Because remember, what most people don't remember, but Usman's first season was with this girl named Lisa, older woman named Lisa, and she got fired from TLC for calling him a racial slur and everything. So then Usman was brought back with Kim. They're not allowed to talk about Lisa on TLC anymore, but they just talk about Kim. So it's just like, so they just pretend on TLC that he was just never with Lisa, that it's just all been with Kim. So, and we all know when him and Kim got together, she bought him that PS5 and everything. And like Chantel like said that she feels like he's a scammer and stuff. They talked about the PS5 and everything. Well, Usman gave back the PS5 and actually gave it to Jamal. So like he always gets defensive about like the scammer word. But on Between the Sheets and everything. Now, he on the episode, he said he needs to stop dating people over 50, which I agree. But then on Between the Sheets, since he's going to lie and say, oh, I never dated anybody over 50. I don't really like people over 50. If they come after me, I don't come after them. And then I try to back away and everything. You whole lie. You married Lisa and everything. And you're about to marry Kim. So how you just gonna lie and say, oh, I don't really like girls over 50. They come after me, and then when they come after me, I turn them down and stuff. You a whole lie. So Usman is just like, he's weird to me. Very, very weird. Now, as for Colt, I think Colt also has like a little bit of crush on Courtney, because we didn't see Colt like much interact with anybody. He's just fresh off his divorce with Vanessa, basically. But I do know by the previews, him and Usman are going to be battling over Courtney, so I can't wait to see that and everything. So after they do the hot tub speed date and whatever. And then Chantel breaks some news to us that I had an inkling, but she just finally admitted. Prior to Chantel coming to the retreat, she was saying that with one of her girlfriends, and one of her little girlfriends said that she has a crush on Chantel, and basically kissed Chantel, and Chantel kind of liked it. Basically, I kissed the girl and I liked it. And now Chantel's now questioning her sexuality. Like, is she bi? Is she still straight? Is she a lesbian? Like, she don't know now. So now she's confused on what she wants and everything. But she says she it's like falling in love all over again. So yeah. And that's kind of what we left off with the cliffhanger. But just first episode, it was pretty interesting. I like it. Some people, it is a change of pace and everything. Like, Rob and Elise, there's going to be some drama next week's episode with that. But Tim and Jennifer, Jennifer also said that Tim is not going to find love here and everything. I think that's 50-50. Part of me believes that, part of me don't and everything. But Tim did say that, like, he is worried that Jennifer is going to sabotage him and, like, convince the other girls not to date him and stuff and everything. And all that. And Jennifer actually has a kind of a crush on Rob, and she also met this guy named Cole that she was liking. She called him Cole, basically. And she was a little bit for once. Jennifer was actually a little intimidated by Elise by showing off so much, basically. So I'm just curious to see how the singles are gonna fare with everybody and stuff and all that. But yeah, I'll have more information on the other singles besides Elise next week. I only know Elise and Cole, basically. That's all I remember. So yeah, but I think I'm gonna like this show. I'm gonna like this show. But anyway, guys, yeah, that is the end of my review. Yeah, this new series is kicking off with the bang. I did, like I said, it's a change. It's a change of pace from what we just see on the regular 90 days. So I'm here for it. If it gets cringy, then I'll let y'all know. But I wasn't cringed out yet on this first episode. I mean, Tim and Jennifer, I'm not liking their back and forthness. I can't wait to see the relationship with Courtney and Usman. So, and well, Tiffany, she's gonna be all over the Tiffany and Chantel gonna be over the place. So yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back on Monday to Monday to recap 90 Day Fiance. So be on the lookout for that. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.